From WFRV TV, Local 5, serving Northeast Wisconsin, including Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. There is a nonprofit organization in our area whose purpose is to elevate people by eliminating barriers to employment. We're talking about Goodwill, which has a whole lot of different locations throughout Northeast Wisconsin. And joining us this morning to talk all things Goodwill and their mission is President and CEO of Goodwill North Central Wisconsin, Chris Hess. Chris, good to have you back. Welcome.
Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
3 years ago, I think we
Yes.
last chatted here. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Before we get into all things Goodwill, tell me the Chris Hess story. How did you get to be CEO of Goodwill up here?
Yeah, it was kind of a fortunate accident. I didn't plan on working for Goodwill. I started my career here in Green Bay in a little supply chain company that was an offshoot of Schneider at the time, and I was about the 5th employee that they hired. And ironically, we built a business around handling retail returns and products that people were bringing back to stores that they either didn't want or didn't need. And we processed those for that company and put them on a little website called eBay way back in the day when that was a new company. And didn't know that that would lead me to a career in Goodwill. What was interesting was I'd fallen in love with the community, wanted to make an impact, wanted to raise my family here. And the recruiter for Goodwill called and said, "Have you ever thought about working for Goodwill?" And I said, "No." And it was my wife that actually encouraged me to apply. She said, "Don't you realize you've been handling returns, can't plan on what that inventory is, and now you can put that knowledge to use and actually improve the community at the same time." So it's been a really great fit.
What do you like about the job? What gets you going every day?
The people. I love what we do. We elevate people by eliminating barriers to employment, and to see the human potential come alive inside of people that maybe never thought that they would be given the opportunity or that they could do the things that they get to do every single day is just remarkable. And it's the fuel that keeps me coming back. It's the best job that I've ever had. If you get to impact people's lives every day, that's a pretty special thing.
You mentioned a couple of times eliminating barriers. What do you mean by eliminating barriers? What were the barriers and how are you getting rid of them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So barriers look differently. When I first started at Goodwill, I thought that had to be some kind of disability. We must be only working with people with a physical or visible disability.
Yeah.
Actually, there are many different kinds of barriers to employment. Certainly a disability can be one. It could be that you're new to the country and you don't speak English. That could be a barrier to employment. It could be that you're just underskilled and you've got this dream of performing in a role, but you don't have the technical wherewithal to do that. Could be that you're precariously housed. Could be that you're somebody in shelter. Whatever the case is, Goodwill's there to work with all job seekers that really want to uplift themselves through the power of work.
You mentioned job seekers. Who are these people who are working for you?
Yeah. So our employees come to us from all over the place. We've got about 1,200 of them. And what's really interesting is a lot of folks self-report that over 80% of the folks that work for us in our stores or throughout our organization come from a disadvantaged background. So they have some sort of barrier to employment that they're working through, and they find us to be a safe place to do that. What's really awesome is a lot of the folks that work for us have a dream of working in healthcare or manufacturing. So a lot of the work that we do might start in our stores, but ends up being integrated right out into the community.
Some of the special needs people that you have, do you find them? Do you seek them out, or do they find you? Do they hear about an opening at Goodwill and they come to see you?
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yep.
So a lot of times because of who we are, people will seek us out. But the number one way that people, especially folks with disabilities or special needs, find us is through partnerships. So we partner a lot with school districts, with the state of Wisconsin, with long-term care facilities, with different shelters, and they know about us and what we specialize in. They know that if somebody has a goal of not only getting a job, but keeping a job and improving their financial stability, that's who we are, and we're happy to help with with that.
Wow. We have much more to come with Chris Hess and Goodwill right after this, so please stay right there. Back now on Newsmaker Sunday, our guest this morning, Goodwill North Central Wisconsin President and CEO Chris Hess. We're talking about your employees. Some of these people, when they come to work for you, they've got to be thrilled. They've got to come to the realization, my God, I can really work.
Yeah, it's really touching to see. You know, I'll never forget, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, you know, somebody with my barrier is used to being watched. I've been watched my whole life. But Goodwill is the first place where I've really been seen. I've seen for the person that I can be, seen for the potential that's inside of me, and that's really just an amazing thing to be able to be a small part in somebody's journey when they are seen for who they can be.
Yeah. How many stores do you have?
We have
approximately.
Yep, 28 stores
28.
across 35 counties in the state of Wisconsin.
And we were talking before the show, you're opening up a new facility in Bellevue.
Yeah, so in Bellevue by Costco, we've opened a drive-through donation center. There's no store attached to it, but it's meant to give people a convenient way to donate to Goodwill and help us with our mission. When people donate, each donation adds up to about 3 hours of job training for folks right here in our community.
Oh my. Most nonprofits like yours, they rely on volunteers, and those volunteer positions are not paid positions. Goodwill pays.
Yeah.
This is not just volunteer work. There's some money to be made here by the people who work for you.
Absolutely. The people that work for us are paid market wage jobs, regardless of their barrier. So that's a big difference between us and some of the other nonprofits. Some folks, like you said, rely on volunteers. We want to teach people to not only get a job, but keep a job. And in order to do that, we need to pay fair wages, living wages, as well as full benefits. So it's a great opportunity for somebody to work for an organization, learn the skills that are completely transferable to any industry, and either stay with us or get that dream job in the future.
What kind of impact do you see you and Goodwill having on the community?
Yeah, so last year we served over 30,000 people, and we've gotten really good at breaking that down into different categories. But on the total, we help people earn $4.5 million in new wages. Folks with disabilities earned $1.6 million in addition to what they were earning before because of the training. A really cool segment of the population that we work with are veterans. Those folks mean so much to all of us in our community. And thanks to the job training that they receive at Goodwill, our veterans are earning $10.50 more an hour after they leave Goodwill programming than they did when they started.
Now, oftentimes Goodwill refers to serving and employing people who are in underserved populations. What do you mean by the word underserved?
Yeah, underserved means that those folks are sometimes they're overlooked or they're underserved by services. So we kind of try to help folks that maybe fall through the cracks. So those could be single custodian parents, folks that are precariously housed or in shelter, people that need access to resources. You know, Goodwill was founded on the premise of being a chance and not a charity. So we like to give as many people the chance to experience the power that a career can provide.
And you've got to have success stories with some of these people.
We do, and that's kind of what keeps you going. You know, one of my favorite ones from 2024 is that we were able to serve about 1,200 folks from the BIPOC community, so Black, Indigenous, people of color, all across the state of Wisconsin, and they earned over $2 million more by coming to Goodwill through programming. So it's amazing to see what people can do with that hand up that comes from getting and keeping a great paying job.
And the people who are working for you, do they have like mentors? Do they have aides? Do they have somebody monitoring their progress and working with you?
Yeah, we like to, wrap as many services around people as necessary. A lot of times, employers know this. When people don't do great things at work, or maybe they don't show up to work, it's because of life circumstances. So they might have a transportation barrier or a childcare barrier, and we like to put job coaches and folks in our stores and in our operation and wrap those navigation services around people. So if there is an issue, we can help connect them in the community so they can keep that job, because we know that they can elevate when they're given that chance.
Yeah. Chris Hess is our guest this morning from Goodwill, and we have a whole lot more to come right after this. And back now on Newsmaker Sunday, Chris Hess is president and CEO of Goodwill North Central Wisconsin. Goodwill North Central, you've got a pilot program called Accelerate.
Yeah.
Excel-Arrate. What is that?
Yeah, so Career Accelerate was an idea that we had just over 3 years ago with a couple of partners of ours, Fox Valley Technical College and Rawhide Youth Services. And the thought was, what if we could combine the three organizations in what we do best and wrap that around Wisconsin job seekers and then rapidly train them in under a college semester and launch them into a high-paying, in-demand career in that amount of time. And it is a portable certificate that people earn at Fox Valley Tech, and they can take that wherever they go, and we've got employers waiting for these folks to graduate and hire them right away.
Wow. And understand you reached a milestone recently of people who secured employment?
Yeah, we had our 200th person placed in this program, which is really exciting. What's remarkable about it is that credential that they're earning in under a semester is leading to real change economically. So those folks on average are earning $10.73 more an hour when they graduate from that program, which is about $22,000 raise annually when you add that all up.
What kind of skills are they learning in the Accelerate program?
Yeah, we've got a couple of different pathways, we call them. So we've got diesel techs, we've got truck driving as a pathway, CNA, woodworking, welders, all sorts of different types of careers that people can choose from. And then again, enter that program, they get a Goodwill Navigator, they get support from Rawhide, and they get a great credential from Fox Valley Tech, and they get a job at one of our area employers. It's just been a beautiful program.
So unlike what people might think about Goodwill, you're not just teaching them to stock shelves.
Yeah. No, we want to teach people skills that they can take with them to build a career, a meaningful career. And we know that not everybody wants to stock shelves or not everybody wants to work for Goodwill, and we're totally fine with that. Most of our career and job placement in the community is actually outside of our four walls. And Career Accelerate has just been a great program, and we're excited because the state of Wisconsin, who partnered with us and gave us the money to start that program, extended their support for another year. So we're going to be offering that program for another year here.
And this is leading not just to a paycheck, but also a living wage.
Yeah, these wages, like I said, are fantastic wages, $20 to $30 an hour, depending on the job that people are going into. And it's been so impactful that Goodwill and our board are in it for the long haul and want to keep doing this program for a very long time.
So how do people get into that program? Do they have to qualify? Do they sign up?
So it's totally free.
It is.
They can go to our Goodwill website, or they can go to careeracceleratewi.org and reach out and fill out a form, and we'll contact them and get them enrolled in the program.
So the job you get at Goodwill, that's not the end all.
No.
That could be the beginning of something really good.
Yeah.
I
Hopefully,
mean, not that Goodwill is not really good.
Yeah, it's a great place to work. Well, and we love to have folks in the community stay with us for as long as they're comfortable. But we exist to help people get their dream job. And it's really great to be out in the community, you know, on a weekend, you're out doing different projects and you run into people and they say, hey, you know, that opportunity and those things that you taught me at Goodwill helped me get this job. And it's just an amazing feeling.
We are back to wrap up with Chris Hess right after this, so please stay right there. Back now with Chris Hess, the president and CEO of Goodwill North Central Wisconsin. Goodwill seems to be the ultimate in sustainability. The whole concept is people who have stuff that they don't need, bring it in, and people who do need it come and buy it.
Yeah. So we're kind of the original sustainability organization. Our Goodwill right here in North Central Wisconsin, as we refer to it, keeps over 35 million pounds of items out of Wisconsin landfill on an annual basis. And we do that not only through our store operations, but also through a very large recycling operation where we recycle the unwanted and unused metal from the items that we receive. We're able to recycle some of the plastics, and we're working nationally as a Goodwill movement to learn how to recycle textiles in the United States, which is going to be really exciting when we get there.
So that's got to be a business and a profit-making venture in and of itself. that recycling.
Yeah, the recycling. So you get it is profitable. You do get paid to do it. It's not at scale yet, to use a fancy business term. But we believe it's the right thing to do. It's part of who we are. So we try to recycle everything that we possibly can to be good stewards of the community's resources.
Types of items that you take, or maybe better question, what don't you take?
Yeah, we try to take everything that we can.
Yeah.
And we are so thankful and grateful for the generosity in our community. You know, that 3 hours of job training per donor adds up to over 30,000 people served in the state of Wisconsin. The things that we don't take are typically things that would be dangerous for us to accept, right? So any kind of power equipment that runs on gasoline, that has gas in it. You know, unfortunately, what trips a lot of people up is they want to give us infant and baby type material, but because of regulations and potential recalls on that, not a lot of places can actually accept that secondhand. So there are items that we can't accept. They're listed on our website, and we also have a list at all of our locations. But again, when in doubt, bring it to us, and we can try to help you through.
Yeah, you mentioned your website, and we've got the website here for people who can make donations. I know certain items. I know I've tried to donate, say, stuffed animals, but that's a no-no.
Stuffed animals we do take.
You can take them now.
Yeah, we absolutely
Okay.
take them, and we actually have a recycling program for that in the
For
back end
those.
as well.
Okay, Chris, who is shopping at Goodwill? We've learned about who is working at Goodwill and those folks. Who's shopping?
Well, hopefully everybody that's watching today
Yeah.
is shopping at Goodwill, because when you shop, that's another 2 hours of job training that can happen in our community. So donating and shopping adds up to about 5 hours of job training and opportunity for people. But our average shopper, believe it or not, is starting to trend younger and younger. When you look at this next generation of consumers, they care a lot about the environment. So our sustainability and keeping products out of landfill and giving them a second life really means a lot to them. So we have a younger consumer. Our outlet in Appleton, they skew really young. They're finding our old Metallica t-shirts and selling them online and opening their own little e-shops based on cool collectible things that they find in our outlet. So our shopper probably looks a little bit different than maybe the folks at home think. Younger, tend to be female for the most part, and they come to us multiple times a day because of the great items that are being donated in the community, and we put that fresh product to the floor multiple times a day.
You know, I know there are some people out there who say to themselves, "Oh, I can't be caught shopping at a Goodwill." Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we hope you get caught shopping there. I mean, I got this blazer there. There's really great things that happen there. And what's really cool is when I talk to people about it, first of all, they have no idea the impact that they can have by shopping there. And a lot of times when they hear that story, they're like, okay, I'll check it out. So come check us out. I mean, I would put our stores up there against any for-profit retailer. They're clean, they're merchandised. We've got a great assortment, and it changes every day, almost on the hour.
I can tell you the problem with shopping at Goodwill, because I shop there all the time. I go in for an item, a certain item, and you wind up walking the aisles for 45 minutes.
Yes.
and walking out with stuff that you didn't come for.
You never know what you're going to find. It's like a treasure hunt inside of the store every single day.
It is. And people, I've said this before too, if you've got a cottage or if you've got a cabin up north, I mean, you guys deal in big stuff too. You're doing furniture.
Yeah.
You're
Furniture,
doing pots
home
and
decor,
pans.
pots, pans, dishes. We get some really nice dish sets every day. When you think about, you know, just in your own personal life, probably changing dish sets throughout your life. We get a lot of those, so come check it out. We're not just apparel, we've got all sorts of different things in store.
And I know you, I admit, you've got a great candy selection too.
We do.
You know,
We do. We
You
do.
get to the-
That's a little bit of a secret, but we do have good candy.
You get to the checkout and there it is. Over the past few years too, beside what we just mentioned, the furniture and household goods and stuff, you've become the central place for Halloween.
Yes, we are the original. We like to call ourselves the original Halloween headquarters. You never know what you're going to find, right? So depending on what you want to be for Halloween, we probably have some kind of apparel and hard good item to really pull that costume off. We order in new things for Halloween as well based on the trend and what we think might be popular that year. So come on in, get a great costume, and do some good for the community at the same time.
The people who you employ, without goodwill, where would they be? Where would they wind up? What would they be doing?
Yeah, we don't like to think about that. We like to think about, that we're indispensable because of the great work that we do. But without that hand up, without that chance, where would any of us be? If somebody wouldn't have taken a chance on me with no goodwill background coming into the organization and giving me a chance, if our board hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been here. And we give people that same opportunity regardless of their barrier, see the potential inside of them, and get them off to a great start.
And I know that you've got built-in great customer service, because it seems to me every time I go there, the people who work there, they're so appreciative, not only of the job, but they're appreciative that you're shopping there.
Yeah, we do a really good job of explaining to all of our people the impact that the community has. So we want to welcome them to the store. We know without them that we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. We wouldn't be able to have the mission impact that we have. So we want it to be as welcoming and as great of an experience as possible.
Yeah, it's a great place. I highly recommend. Chris Hess, thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Good
Appreciate
to see
it.
you again.
Good to see you.
All right, if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this show, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.